Hello, Kendall. Hello, Shubham.
Hey Pratibhan, hey Kendall.
Hey guys, how are y'all?
Good.
Good.
Good, Kendall. Hey, Shubham. Happy Diwali.
Yeah, happy Diwali.
Yeah. So, Kendall, today is our festival day here in India.
Oh, okay, cool.
This is Guillaume.
Hi, Guillaume. How are you?
I'm good, and you?
Doing well. We'll just give it a few more minutes. It looks like we're still missing quite a few people.
Hi, Kendall.
Hi, Cotter. How are you?
Good, good. Today is Diwali. It's off in India. Let me double check.
Hey, Kendall, Phil, do you need me to handle the notes for you, or are you okay?
Yes, Phil, that would be great. I'm gonna have to switch to my phone after we get started. So if you don't mind taking notes, that'd be wonderful.
No worries.
Thank you so much.
Kendall, just FYI, Suresh and some of the team members are not available today.
Okay, that's no worries. Do we have someone that would take the 5G update since Suresh will not be joining, or are we just gonna skip that update for today?
Let me check with Parthiban. Do you have some updates, or maybe we can update it offline?
So Kadar, I don't have update on the dev side, but on the testing side, the integration testing side, we are working very closely with Ankur. I have the update on that area. But the dev side, I think Suresh and Yogesh might be the right people to give the updates.
Sure. We may have to skip that, Kendall, today
Okay.
because holidays.
Yeah.
That's no worries. Then we can go ahead and get started. So we have a few items that have been added to the agenda. So we have David McBride here today to talk about Magma adoption of BES specification to enable ONAP Magma integration. He's looking to get a few people to join the meeting, their ONAP Enterprise Task Force meeting on November 10th to talk through this. David, I don't know if there's anything else that you would like to add on that.
Thanks, Kendall. I think you covered it pretty well. Yeah, this came up in our meeting, I think about a month ago. And so we wanted to get some of the technical folks from the Magma community to join the call. And I put a link to the logistics there on the agenda page. That includes the Zoom URL and so on, meeting time, so on. But the next meeting is on November 10th at 7:30 Pacific time. Brian Barrett responded to that, the email from Catherine, and he had suggested Arun, Hunter, and Marie. But we're really looking for as much participation and engagement as possible. So if you're interested in the topic, ONAP Magma integration or the best specification, by all means, feel free to join. Incidentally, Catherine was going to join with me today, but unfortunately she had a conflict, so she wasn't able to make it. But she extends this invitation to all of you. Thank you, Kendall.
David, how long is that meeting on the 10th?
It's 1 hour.
Okay.
It's 7:30 to 8:30. But if people have other conflicts, like in the first half or the second half or whatever, we can adjust the timing of the discussion if there's other topics to suit that.
And do you know if Hunter and Arun and Marie have been directly invited, or do we need to forward that on to them?
They were on an email thread that Brian responded to, but we haven't gotten a response directly from them.
Okay.
I'm open to suggestions.
Okay, I'll just ping them quickly and suggest they join.
Okay, I'm sorry, who is this?
That's Phil Ritter.
Oh, Phil. Okay, thanks. Were you on that email thread?
I was not, but
okay. Let me add you to that so you can see what I'm talking about. And thank you for volunteering to ping them.
no worries.
Okay, that's all I had, Kendall, unless anyone has additional questions. Thank you. Kendall, are you still with us?
I'd say no. So
Yeah, it looks like Kendall dropped. So
okay. All right. So whoever is the meeting lead, I think I'm done unless there are any questions.
okay. Next on the agenda is Scott. Some issues with C and C++ full path includes.
Hey, yeah. This is kind of a PSA that those who are doing the C and C++ code-based work in Magma, we have largely migrated all of the include directives of those files to be repo relative instead of relative to the various include flags past the compiler. So if you're including a file that is in our repo and is in the Magma repo, and you see that other files in your header are being or in your CPP file or C file are being included by full path, please mimic what you see and use the full path, the LTE gateway, etc. Let's, for example, path, as opposed to what we were previously doing, which is often just the file name and relying on include directives. So try to mimic what you see, please. And I don't yet have a CI phase committed that will detect when we regress on this. So I don't yet have automation to prevent it from happening. So for a while, I'm just going to watch for it and fix it up as it happens. But I appreciate trying to migrate your work to the new direction. That's all I'm saying. Any questions?
Scott, do we have something more descriptive than mimic what you see? I mean, is there a standard that we're trying to follow, or?
I did drop in the Etherpad a GitHub issue for this topic, and so the GitHub issue provides some of the rationale, and then there's a series of pull requests tied to that issue that I made. So if you want to see examples, you can see from my pull requests. But I think generally the rule of thumb with some of the C++ is we're trying to, when you author new code for the code base, you try to look at what's happening in the code base in the area you're editing and mimic what you see. Okay, like even though if there may be other practices you're used to, or if even if best practices aren't what you're seeing, you often don't want to migrate just a small line of code to best practice and leave non-best practices surrounding it, because then the code is a heterogeneous mix. So TLDR, when you see include directives at the header and you're adding them or you're modifying them and you see them being fully specified from the root of a repository, please do likewise if you add or modify the headers that are being included.
Perfect. And I do see Kendall is back if you want to carry
Yeah,
on.
sorry about that. I dialed in and then I couldn't get unmuted. So you can hear me now though, right?
We got it.
Okay, great. Cool. Thank you for taking over for me, Phil. Is there any other questions for Scott? Okay, then we'll move on to the next update. DevOps. Do we have Tim or Tariq on the call?
Yeah, I'm here. Just quickly, what we covered yesterday in the DevOps call is the new, framework for integration of third-party test infra to CI. So yesterday we discussed the proposal. The proposal is on GitHub. We presented that to the TSC. The TSC will take a vote hopefully sometime this week. So if you have any feedback, please head to GitHub and look at the proposals. You'll see a proposal around CI integration with third-party test infra. It's a standardized way of deployment of any new test infrastructure going forward. So if you are interested in deploying your own test infra as part of CI, you will need to have a look at that. We are in the middle of POC on that. So first integration point will be with the Spirent test setup that we have at Facebook. We have done quite enough so far that we are confident that the proposal is really working, and hopefully by next week we'll have a demo that we can do maybe or next time. So that's on that front. We are also, the team is doing a lot of work cleaning up some of the workflows. We have a lot of workflows currently in GitHub Actions. So we'll do some cleanups, and also we'll improve the LT intake test to start using builds from the registry instead of rebuilding the gateway every time we run these tests. So that's mostly it for DevOps this week.
Thanks, Tariq. Any questions? All right, then we can move on to Echo for a status, for a release update.
Yeah, thanks, Kendall. So as I shared during the last call, the team is working on releasing a 1.6.1. It's currently undergoing testing. I see Ulash is on the call, so why don't I make Ulash speak to where we are and what the outlook is for getting this release out. Ulash?
Yeah, for 6.1, I mean, in terms of backporting any feature, etc., I mean, we are actually stable. We are not planning to add anything new. Sudi has launched a bunch of tests on the latest build. And once we have the documentation and other stuff all sorted out, the plan is to release this Friday.
All right, thanks, Ulash. So if all things remain on this path, we should have released on 1.6.1 on Friday. Once that goes out, we've been planning for a 1.7. Plan is not finalized yet, but that will be the next release. And the target at this time is sometime early next year. So that's the quick update of releases, and that's what the outlook looks like for the next couple of releases. So thanks, and that's all.
Thanks, Echo. Any questions for him? All right, I think that brings us to the end of the agenda, Phil, unless there's another thing that was added before I had to close my computer.
I don't see anything else that's been added.
All right, is there anything else that people would like to talk about? I'll take the silence as a no, so we can go ahead and end this early, get some time back in your day. Thanks, everyone. Have a good weekend.
Thank you, Kendall.
Thank you, Kendall.
Thank you all.